Hello and welcome to Morgan Park Raceway for round 5 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championships presented by Motul. We are here 2.5 hours south of Brisbane in the beautiful Southern Downs region of Queensland at Warwick. This town is well known for its Tudor and 17th century buildings, but this weekend will be charged with providing classic racing action. Also, a big shout out this weekend to Kate Peck, who can't be here because she's in Mongolia riding motorcycles, but Steve Martin and myself have managed to draft in a very worthy replacement, Grand Prix winner and World Supersport champion, Chris Vermeulen. Chris, welcome.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Great to be here. I've really enjoyed, as a Queenslander, coming to a home round. But the track is pretty cool. It puts on good action from the juniors, you know, improving every session. And then we've seen lap records broken in the top class Superbike guys. So it's been cool, but race day now, Steve. It's all down. The money's on the line right now, right?
Oh, it certainly is. And what a great amount of experience we've got having Chris here this weekend to help us out. So thanks for coming along, mate.
Well, Troy Herfoss and Mike Jones know a lot about this circuit. Two other people that know a lot about it, Steve Martin and Chris Vermeulen, about to give you all of the details of Morgan Park Raceway.
It's fantastic to have Chris Vermeulen with us at the Honda Track Preview. Chris, this is a place that you've seen before. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Morgan Park, tight, twisty, exciting for superbikes. What, about 2.1 kilometres long? Should we go and have a look?
Let's do it. If one person knows about commitment, Chris, it's got to be you. And turn 3 requires a lot of that.
It requires commitment and bravery, Steve, because you crest the hill and it's blind the whole way. Entry, on the way through, you can't see the line on the exit, and you've got that concrete wall on the inside. I mean, Mike Jones's head was nearly touching the wall when we were watching him out there. So it is spectacular. Difficult to get that corner right, but it can set you up for turn 4, which is a great passing opportunity.
The run down the hill into Motul, well, that's another animal in itself.
Completely different animal, hard on the brakes, a few little bumps, you are downhill. It's probably where you push the front tyre, one of the hardest places on this track, so easy to lose the front on the way in, but great passing opportunity, and it is a really, really tight hairpin.
A common theme of this circuit is all the riders are talking about how physical it is, and through Pirelli and into Honda is some of the most physical parts of this track.
It is, isn't it, Stephen? You can see there's no straight parts. They go left to right, one corner leads into the next, and if you mess one up, it really messes up your whole lap because you're compromising 2 or 3 corners. Also, a lot of these corners are a similar speed, so if you can get your gearing perfect to be in those corners, you're going to have an advantage over a lot of corners.
And let's not forget that braking into Honda, definitely a place to watch for overtaking. One thing we haven't touched on, Chris, is how tight and bumpy this circuit is, except for where we are right now.
You're exactly right. It is tight and bumpy, Steve, but right here, this is the fastest part of the track. Used to be the bumpiest part of the track, but now they've resurfaced it. So you've got a brand new, sort of smooth billiard table. It's bravery, it's fast flowing through here. Hard to make a move though, Steve.
Well, nobody told Wayne Maxwell that last year though, did they?
That was a very cool move.
This track provides an interesting run to the finish line.
It is, like, I called it a chicane before, Steve. You corrected me. They are S's. They're fast and flowing. It also is a big crest coming uphill. When you lift the bike up and start accelerating, difficult to stop it wheeling, but it is a long run to that finish line. So it is an opportunity to make the pass. If you get that wrong, the guy can get past you before the checkered flag.
It certainly is an exciting lap here at Morgan Park, and that wraps up our Honda Track Preview.
The man on your screen there, bike number 26, Cameron Swain, former Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup champion, will start from pole position with Brodie Gorth in second, Marcus Amott in third. Second row of the grid, it's Henry Snell, Jay Rousseau, and of course, Brandon Demery, championship leader by 25 points.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see Brandon out there. He'll be just making sure that he finishes this one. Casey Middleton, who we mentioned before, on that number 20 machine in 7th. 8th is Harrison Watts, and Josh Newman, Glenn Allerton's cousin there, is in 9th.
Calvin Moylan, one of the Race DNA riders back there on row 4 and on bike number 27, along with the South Australian Sam Pizzetta on the Unitec racing machine, and also another South Australian, Tara Morrison, doing a great job on board bike number 95. New paint job for her this weekend. She'll start out at 12th position.
Daly Mills, Lincoln Knight, and Geordie Simpson, another one of the Simpson clans there on row 5. Row 6 is Will Nassif, Ryder Gilbert, and William Hunt in that 18th position.
Yeah, Brock Quinlan and Keegan Prass rounds out the field. Looking through there, there, there are so many like graduates from the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup, and also a couple of former champions in Cameron Swain and Harry Watts, who Harry Watts, of course, winning it last year, along with the FIM Mini GP that he won last year as well. So keep your eye on board. Harry Watts on board bike number 14, part of the impressive race DNA team as well.
Definitely anyone's race, this one.
Oh, sorry, Harry Watts is Team BWR, not Race DNA. Race DNA is the riders with Casey Middleton, Calvin Moyle, another one of those riders as well, as we get ready to go racing, Steve. Supersport 300. Supersport 300 go after a long pause there on the grid. It is Cameron Swain on board bike number 26 that will lead them down towards turn 1 for the first time. Hamod's been shuffled back as the megacycle men of Brodie Gorth and Henry Snell make their way into second and third as they go up and under the Morgan Park Bridge for the first time. Looking to see, I think Jay Russo's got a good start on board bike number 32 as well.
Down the hill they go. It is Cameron Swain who leads the way with Brodie Gorth behind him. Marcus Hamod moves up into that third position. He's riding full of confidence at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, just looking back there, I think it's Russo and then Brandon Demery with the next rider through. And also, yep, that's the BWR team machine of Harry Watts back there in the 6th position. And then right behind him would be Josh Newman on board bike number 17. The Wet For You race fairings machine. There's Josh. The Johnny Ray helmet clearly standing out on that green Kawasaki as they make their way down through MA Corner, the fastest area of this circuit, and then to turn 9 that's been very hungry so far this weekend.
It certainly has. There's Newman. You can't miss that machine as he slips past the streams. One of the Simpsons there too, as they head through to Michelin Corner, up the hill for the first time. And there are those beautiful race DNA machines, and that is the number 20 of Casey Middleton down in 10th position.
I think I also noticed Tara Morrison putting a move there, trying to get past the rider behind. I think that may have been Daly Mills on board bike number 15. But it is still Cameron Swain that leads. That lead two have got away a little bit with Cameron Swain and Brodie Gorth opening up a half-second lead over Henry Snell back there in 3rd position. Marcus Hamod trying desperately to get round the rider on board bike number 12. He'll have a chance at the bottom of the hill here as they come down to Motul Corner. Can he get up the inside? No, you can see Marcus's bike bouncing up and down. One rider did go through though was Brandon Demery on the Demery Motorsport Troy Corso Surface Clean Australia machine, bike number 11.
I love Demery's style. He just sits on top of that bike. He doesn't lean off as much as these younger guys, but he certainly gets the job done. And it just goes to show you that you know, everyone has their own sort of style, and most of them work.
Well, the interesting thing was yesterday in the race, we saw Cameron Swain, Henry Snell and Marcus Hamod on the podium. Brandon Demery was back there in 4th place. He went and parked his bike in Park May. First thing he did, Steve, went over and congratulated the top 3 for their podium in the first race. I thought that was a great effort from Brandon Demery on board bike number 11. Yeah,
absolutely. I guess his worry in this race is Brodie Gorth, who sits in that top 2 at the moment. There he is on the number 25 machine. He is 2nd in the championship, so Demery will be keeping a close eye on that with Demery leading at the moment.
Well, look at the gap that Marcus Hamod has been able to put on Henry Snell as soon as he's managed to get past the number 12 machine. So the rider on 13 is on a bit of a charge, and he's left Henry Snell to deal with championship leader Brandon Demery on board bike number 11.
No doubting Hamod's on a high at the moment. I mean, we went up to him. I don't know if you were with me yesterday after that race, went and shook his hand. He was so happy. And when you're happy like that, and you know, it's you know, you do extra special on the bike, and he's on top of his game at the moment and enjoying his riding.
Well, at the last round at Queensland Raceway, Steve, where he took his first win on the Saturday afternoon, he was still standing in the AMX Superstore's podium area with a massive smile on his face an hour after he'd won the race. He just didn't want to leave. It was such a big high for him. And at the moment, he's sitting there in position number 3 on track for his 2nd podium of the weekend in the Supersport 300 category. He did win the R3 race yesterday afternoon as well, but he's also got Henry Snell on board bike number 12 that finished 2nd in yesterday's race, right on his tail. If anything, Snell has come back and left Brandon Demery in his wake, as Brandon Demery now has to try and deal with Jay Russo on board bike number 32.
Josh Newman's having a much better race than he had yesterday too. He's right up now on the back of Jay Russo as well. So there he is in the background there, making his way forward.
Yeah, he's also got Harry Watts for company as well. Interestingly enough too, Josh Newman and Harry Watts are actually teammates in the ESG team in the FIM Mini GP 190 GP2 Championship as well. So they'll be racing next weekend, still back here in Queensland at the Ipswich kart track next weekend. So I expect that they'll be on track just as close next weekend as what they are currently in this race, holding down 7th and 8th positions for Josh Newman on 17 and Harry Watts. You can see him there on board bike number 14 as they come down to Motul, with Watts going up the inside of Newman on board the wet for you race bearings machine. There's Simpson trying to get involved in a bit of a heated battle with two of the race DNA riders.
Yeah, Calvin Moylan there getting all out of shape on the number 27 machine, but holds it all together. Those guys are going at it hammer and tong.
Well, it is still Cameron Swain with a half-second lead over Brodie Gorth on board bike number 25. And Brodie Gorth doing a good job. Quickly, time for an update from Chris Vermeulen with 4 laps of the 10-lap race journey complete.
Yeah, guys, I just wanted to say quickly, I know a few of these riders were worried about the oil that was left from that 600 crash, but we can see from the lap times that track conditions are very good. They're into the 22s. I think 22.6 is a lap record, and the front guys did a 22.9 on the last lap. So I don't think there's too much worry about that oil on the track. I think weather-wise, it's perfect. The track is hit about that 30-degree mark, and I think we're going to see fast races all day from now on.
Thanks, Chris, for the update from down there in pit lane. The wind looks like it's just starting to pick up a fraction as well, Steve, as we watch this battle between Hamad and Snell as they make their way through Alpine Stars Tech 5 corner, then up underneath the bridge and down into Motul. Will Snell be able to get good drive out of here and possibly launch an assault on Hamad at the bottom of the hill at Motul? He goes to the inside, can't quite get in there deep enough. Look at Demery, he's on a charge. He's left Russo behind, and Demery's front end was bouncing up and down like a pogo stick as he made his way down through Motul. He's pushing very hard, is Brandon Demery on board bike number 11.
Brandon Demery, of course, in that 4th position now with Joe Russo behind him. Very close between those two guys, and doesn't get much closer than that either between Snell and Hamad.
How's the elbow action from Marcus Amott? He's a pretty tall young fella, but that's almost elbow down as he makes his way through that left-hander at the very tricky Yamaha Rev Shahart corner, and then makes his way down through MA. This is the fastest part of the circuit. The circuit that's been, the part of the circuit that's been recently resurfaced, so it's a lot smoother than what it was a couple of years ago.
How's Swain now? 5.4 second lead. It's unheard of in this class. I mean, the front guys in this class really pushing the limits.
Well, pushing the limits. Harry Watts has crashed at turn 6, the same corner that caught out Brodie Gorth as well on board bike number 14. So he's managed to resume, but he's a fair way back down through the field now. That means that Josh Newman has been pushed up into 6th position. Casey Middleton and Calvin Moylan, the two race DNA riders, in 7th and 8th position. Sam Pizzetta in 9th, and Geordie Simpson rounds out the top 10.
Action still on between these two guys. It is Henry Snell who leads the way at the moment, and they're on that final lap now. So it is come down to who is fastest for this last spot of the podium, and it is Snell who leads the way so far with Hamad right behind him. We know how much Hamad wants this, and his confidence is high. You know he's going to have a dive up the inside somewhere.
Well, I think he actually was thinking about it down there at Motul Corner, but then he pulled out at the last minute and thought, no, I'm going to save this for later on in the lap. He's getting down towards the fastest part of the circuit now. There's no doubt who our race winner is going to be if he can keep the 26 machine upright on the Caboolture Yamaha, and that is Cameron Swain. He's gone. You can't even see him in the camera shot. Here comes Hamad. He goes down the inside at MA Corner. That's a brave move from the man from Wollongong on board the Motor City machine. It is bike number 13 now, currently holding down 2nd place. Can Marcus hold on under constant pressure now from Henry Snell as they drive up the hill? The Megacycle bike gets excellent drive out of the hill, but it is Cameron Swain that will take the race win as he cruises across the finish line on the Caboolture Yamaha to take the race win. But our interest goes back to this battle for 2nd and 3rd position, and it is Hamad that comes across the rise. Snell makes a big lunge at the line, but I think Hamad just manages to hold on. What a race between those two, and Brandon Demery, Steve Martin, gets the nod over Jai Russo after a race-long battle as well. And here comes Josh Newman across the line on the wet for you machine to take out 6th position as well.
Yeah, what a ride. What a massive ride by Cam Swain. He is on a mission at the moment. 194 points in the championship. That was good for him.
Casey Middleton takes out 7th position, but his teammate Calvin Moylan has dropped way back down through the field as well. So maybe the last lap also claimed the race DNA rider, Calvin Moylan, as he drops off our timing screens. Unfortunately, there he is, Steve. And it's a long, dejected walk for Calvin Moylan, who is not happy with crashing out on that last lap. He was in a race-long battle with his teammate Casey Middleton and also Sam Pizzetta in there as well. But Sam Pizzetta ends up taking out 8th position. Lincoln Knight and Geordie Simpson rounds out that top 10. As a few more of the race DNA guys come to the line. That's bike number 87. That's Brock Quinlan. And 63, Keegan Prass as well in that battle with William Hunt on board bike number 46. Well, what a performance from Cameron Swain. He was under pressure, but in the end, he prevailed by 5.2 seconds over Marcus Hamod and Henry Snell, who round out the podium. Championship leader Brandon Demery will still lead by 26 points as he takes 4th position ahead of Jai Russo in 5th, Josh Newman in 6th, Middleton in 7th, Pizzetta in 8th, Knight in 9th, and Simpson rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, Wilf Nassif there, Tara Morrison from South Australia in 12th, Daly Mills, Harrison Watts, Ryder Gilbert, Brock Quinlan, William Hunt and Keegan Prass in that 18th position.
Well, time to head down to the AMX Superstores podium. Chris Vermeulen is with our top 3.
Yeah, what a race it was. I mean, close action at the front. But first of all, Henry Snell, 2nd place yesterday, 2 podiums. How do you feel?
Yeah, unreal. Really needed these podiums this weekend. I fell a bit behind having a bike issue last round. So it's good to be getting some healthy championship points for this weekend. So, yeah.
Fantastic race. Really good to see you out there. A really close battle. I mean, a 6/100ths of a second or something coming over the line.
Yeah, great job to Marcus. It was a good race. I just struggled a bit in the end. The front end was a bit loose. But, yeah, I'd just like to say massive thanks to all my sponsors again. They do so much for me, so I couldn't be here without them.
No, it's great to see you out there. Good luck for the next round, and great to see you. I mean, 2nd place, we had Marcus Hammond. If Marcus is going to come over in a sec, I mean, he was 3rd yesterday. One step better than yesterday. I was just saying, Marcus, great result. Really close race there, but how was it for you?
Oh yeah, thanks, Chris. But I was feeling I didn't get onto the back of Cameron and Brody, but once I saw Brody crash, I just said to Henry, we'll just settle down a little bit, because it was only us 2 in the group for the podium fight. And then, yeah, I want to say a big thank you to my grandma. She turned 75 on Thursday. I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone at home. Yeah, they're awesome. So.
Congratulations, mate. Well done. Really enjoyed watching that race. And the man of the weekend, Cameron Swain, it looked like you couldn't put a foot wrong, really. I mean, yesterday's race was very dominant, but today you're almost leading by 6 seconds, and then you cruised over the finish line in style.
Oh, I'm lost for words, to be honest. Like, the amount of work my family and I have put in before this round is just ridiculous. Like, the amount of blood, sweat and tears in the garage with my dad. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're right, mate. No, we know it's emotional, and we know how much work it goes in. You know, there's teams behind this, there's family, there's support. But you've done everybody proud. You've done really, really well.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'd just like to thank everyone that helps me. Brett from Moto Garage in Brendale, he done tuned my bikes before this round. Thanks, mate. Byron Draper from Draper Motorsport, Recondi, Racing Road, Yamaha, RBM Racing, Pirelli, from Dave Fuller from Art, my dad, my mum, my whole family, all my friends. Thank you.
You did everybody proud. Congratulations. What a Supersport 300 race.
Plenty more action coming up here from Morgan Park. Supersport 300 up next. And welcome back to Morgan Park Raceway. It's round 5 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championships presented by Motul. And this track is very different to the last venue that we were at. That was, of course, Darwin's Hidden Valley Raceway. Well, Supersport 300 riders are making their way up to the grid. We've already seen 2 races for them so far this weekend. Josh Newman pulling up his Wet For You Racing Kawasaki Ninja 400 up onto the grid. Cameron Swain, Brody Gordon and Marcus Hamod will start from the front row of the grid, with Henry Snell, Jai Russo and Brandon Demery on the second row of the grid. All 6 of those riders have had a good weekend so far this weekend.
Yeah, of course, and 6 into 1 doesn't go very well, does it? So that means that we're in for an exciting weekend. Casey Middleton, Harrison Watts, Josh Newman at row 3. Row 4 is Calvin Moylan, Sam Pizzetta and Tara Morrison. 13th is Daly Mills, Lincoln Knight and Geordie Simpson, Will Nassaf, Ryder Gilbert and William Hunt. is your row 6 with row 7, Brock Quinlan and Keegan Pruss.
Yeah, also special mention to the Race DNA team. 5 riders out there this weekend as well, doing a great job. Led at the moment by Casey Middleton and Calvin Moylan, doing a pretty good job there on rows 3 and 4. So keep an eye out for them as this SuperSport 300 race gets underway. Also, Harry Watts on board bike number 14. Keep an eye out for him, the Team BWR rider. Last year's Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup champion, doing a great job this weekend in the SuperSport 300 category. So the riders coming to take up their positions on the grid. There's Marcus Amott on board the Motor City entry, bike number 13. He's been on the podium a couple of times this weekend. He's taken a race win and he's looking to finish his weekend off in the best possible fashion. It is Cameron Swain that starts from pole position on board the Caboolture Yamaha machine as SuperSport 300 is ready to go. SuperSport 300 is go. Great start there from the front row of the grid. It looked like from Brodie Gorth on board bike number 25, and he should lead them as they go down in towards AMF corner for the first time. Pretty good start too from Henry Snell, and it's that Jai Russo that's moved his way up into 4th place on board the Russo Performance machine, bike number 32, as they go through Tech 5 corner for the first time.
And down the hill they go, all nice and tight, close to that internal wall. It is Gorth who leads the way, with Swain on the inside there, and there's Snell in 3rd position with Marcus Amott up there. Joe Russo up into 4th, so good start by Joe Russo. He's been knocking on the door, but not quite on the podium so far this weekend, so I'm sure he wants to put that right.
Yeah, looked like Josh Newman got a pretty good start too on board bike number 17. You can see him there. That's Glenn Allerton's nephew, doing a great job in this highly competitive category, and he was actually just, I think, 1 position behind his teammate in the ESG team for the FIM Mini GP, Harry Watts, who was sitting in position number 7 on board bike number 14. As they make their way down the back of the circuit now for the first time, it is Cameron Swain that's gone back into the lead. Gorth in 2nd, Snell in 3rd. But as we know, Steve, this championship just changes positions every single corner, and even sometimes in between corners as well.
Well, sometimes it's 3 places in one corner. It's just an incredible championship, this SuperSport 300 race. It's a great way to move up from the 150s into the 300 class here, a stepping stone onto a 600, or overseas. People have gone all over the place from this class.
Well, Brendan Demery showed good form in the earlier R3 race today, so I'm expecting that he's going to come back pretty strongly in this final SuperSport 300 race of the weekend. He's been conspicuous by his absence in the top group in the first 2 races, but there he is sitting back there in 6th position, just on the back of this lead group on board bike number 11. Doing a good job at the moment is Swain, late on the brakes, up the inside of Brodie Gorth to take up the running back at the front. That's actually Henry Snell. Brodie Gorth's gone back to 4th place as Amott has moved his way up into 3rd. As Jai Russo says, thank you very much, I'll take 4th off you. In this class, you snooze, you lose. You've only got to be for a second, and you'll lose a position very, very quickly. And look at how closely that group has closed up, with Josh Newman getting the better of Harry Watts and now closing up onto the back of Brendan Demery.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, you mentioned before Demery's name, but he's not really too much on screen there, but he is that sort of rider, probably one of the older riders in the pack. Saying that, he's probably in his mid-20s. He works his way through the field methodically. It's the sort of riding that he does. There you can see Brando just saying to the younger guys, just stick behind me and I'll take you to the front. Well, these younger guys don't listen to that sort of information, do they? So a bit of a waste of time there for Brando. But back out front, it is Swain, Snell and Marcus Amott, with Snell taking the lead into turn 1.
Yeah, a little bit of a gap opening up between our top 3, and then Brodie Gorth in 4th place at the moment. Oh, Gorth, he's actually, how did he manage to keep that on the circuit? He was so wide on the exit of Alpine Stars, and he still managed to get a little bit of drive, but I think you'll find that as they get to the bottom of the hill at Motul here, it might be Brendan Demery coming up the inside. There he goes, up the inside of Brodie Gorth. He just lost a fraction of drive, but that was all needed. Demery's gone down. He got on the gas too hard on the exit of the corner, and the most experienced rider in the pack has gone down. He tries to pick up the machine and get it back going again.
And he will do. He will not give up, because he's in this championship. You can see him there. He's got the bike
Well, it's
up.
one of the race DNA machines as well.
Oh,
that's bike number 63 that's gone off the circuit. I think that's Keegan Pruss. He was a little bit further back in the pack, but unfortunately for Keegan, he's gone off track as well.
Yeah, that was a bit of a moment down there in the modal corner. But back out front, it's Cam Swain. What a dice these guys are having. Hamad looks up the inside now. Inside line, can't quite do it. You need a wide entry as you head up the hill there through Michelin into that Ducati flip-flop. Let's have another look here on the AMX replay. Brandon Demery there just goes through the corner, gets on the gas. That back just comes round, just asking too much of the rear tyre. And you can get away with that a few times, but in that case, he didn't get away with it.
Yeah, I think it looked like he may have given it a handful at the exact moment that he hit a small bump coming out of that corner, and that was just enough to upset the back of the Shore Flight Surface Clean Australia machine.
Josh Newman's having a great ride. He's right on the back of this group, been working his way forward on that Kawasaki. He's been having some brake problems throughout the weekend, but they've fixed that now by the look of it. And there he is on the green machine.
Yeah, having a little bit of a ninja battle there with Casey Middleton on the first of the race DNA machines. Of course, Casey Middleton on the podium in the very first race this year at Phillip Island, doing a great job to come back here at his home race of Queensland Raceway. At Morgan Park. He did a pretty good job at Queensland Raceway only a couple of rounds ago. But look at this lead group now, Steve. It's closed up. If anything, we've got a couple of more riders on the back of the lead group as well. As you can see them all reposition their bodies to make the run down the very fast area of the circuit. But it is Swain that leads from Snell. Then it's Hamad, and sitting back in fourth place is Brodie Gorth on the 25 machine, the second of the mega cycle entries. Best race so far this weekend also for Joe Russo, because he was dropping off the pack at about half race distance in the earlier ones, but this one he's right with them as they make their way up the hill to go through the S's and then out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start finish straight to complete 4 laps.
Yeah, definitely looks like he's found something, doesn't it, to be able to hang with that leading group at the moment. Russo in the slipstream there on the number 32, just diving into the Alpine Stars corner. Nice smooth riding there from Cameron Swain. He's got this smooth on these bikes, and he's got a beautiful style for these 300s.
You can see he's almost got his chin glued to the tank there for a majority of the circuit, has Cameron Swain on board bike number 26, as he just lifts his head up at the very last moment as they get to Motor Corner on the brakes, down through Honda, that very fast area of the circuit. Chin once again down on the tank. As we go back in the field to have a look, there's Geordie Simpson on board bike number 33 doing a pretty good job. There was another one of the race DNA machines in there as well. It looks like Tara Morrison on board bike number 95, Steve. She's been doing a pretty good job this weekend. Yeah. Had a couple of crashes, but a massive learning weekend in relation to the setup of that motorcycle for her. And also her dad, Alan, doing a great job here this weekend. And Mum's here as well, all helping out in the pits. They're doing a really good job to work their way forward in this very highly competitive championship.
Absolutely. It's a tough class, and, you know, it's a family affair when you go down into that pit, isn't it? They're all there. All the mums and dads helping out their youngsters to live their dream.
Well, you can see the big crowd there are really enjoying this SuperSport 300 race as they make their way out onto, well, I suppose you could call it the back straight. Well, there is a big corner in the middle of it. It's a dauntingly fast corner as well. Through Motorcycling Australia we go, down towards the bottom of the hill. We're on the 8th lap. And it is once again Snell that goes up the inside. He loves that part of the circuit, not only in this race, Stevie. We did it in the earlier race this morning, and also in the R3 Cup as well. As they make their way through Michelin Corner, turn 10 now. You can see Hamad closes right up onto the back of Cameron Swain's machine as well. And if anything, I think that Joe Russo is even a fraction further forward onto the back of Brodie Gorth's machine than he was last time. Let's have a look at the lap times as they come across the line. Fastest man in the race so far has been Brodie Gorth on lap 5. Actually, Henry Snell has just set the fastest lap of the race. A 1:23.032, a 1:23.069 for Cameron Swain, and a 1:23.1 for Marcus Hamad. The pace is increasing now, Steve, as we start lap 9. We're on the penultimate lap, and they've now pulled all of the tricks out of the bag, and they're really starting to show each other what they've actually got inside their bag of tricks.
Yeah, well, it is. It's time to try and stretch it out now if you can, Swain. If you've got something left, let's just have a look at this AMX replay. Cam Swain there. Up the inside goes Snell, tucked in under the screen, carried a bit more speed through that corner. You could just see the bit of a bobble on the back. Can't dive up the inside there, so Swain settles for that second position, but he did get great drive out of the final Ducati corner.
There's the Newman-Middleton battle. It was only a lap or so ago that Casey Middleton was leading Josh Newman. Josh Newman's been able to get back ahead now as they reposition their bodies to try and get the run down the back straight. The battle of the ninjas going on in earnest there with Newman on 17. That's the Wet For You racing machine, and then the race DNA machine of Casey Middleton, bike number 20. Of course, both of them have had some really great races so far this season as we go back to the race at the front. And this 5-bike battle to sort out the race win. Backmarkers are going to come into contention very, very shortly as Cameron Swain pulls to the inside. He goes back into the lead at AWMF corner, turn 1. Can he hold it through turn 2? Snell's been very good through here, but Marcus Amott has also been very good at the next corner they're coming up to. After they go under the bridge, Motul corner, he's good on the brakes, is Marcus.
Yeah, down the hill they go, and this is where we're going to start to see some fireworks, but Swain goes to the outside. No one's going to attack here. I think Snell will be thinking that move that he made. The thing that I can see, though, is it looks like Swain has great drive out of that final corner, so you need to go soon. Otherwise, Swain will be able to slipstream over that start-finish line and get the win. So Snell needs to strike now.
Well, and he also, Cameron Swain has got good drive out of the corner they're coming up to next, which leads to that fast area of the circuit. But Henry Snell has been so brave through that area of the track. We've seen so many overtaking manoeuvres so far. And here he comes again, Steve. He's driving hard down through Motorcycling Australia. Can he pull it off again at Dunlop as they change direction and come towards the bottom of the hill? I think Swain's too fast for him this time. He can't get past. It's going to have to try and be a run to the line. Henry Snell, does he try and go up the inside at turn 10? He can't. I think Cameron Swain may have this one covered as they come up the hill for the final time.
Yep, up the hill they go into that final Ducati S. Is there not much doing there? You can set yourself up. He's in the slipstream. He tries to go, but Swain's got too much speed. He pulls out. He goes straight over the line, and it looks like it's Cameron Swain who wins.
Yeah, Cameron Swain takes the win by 0.030 of a second over Henry Snell. Marcus Amott just hangs on to third position by a scant 0.017 of a second over Brodie Gorth, who made a last lap charge as Sam Pizzetta just steals the position off Harry Watts right as they came to the line. That was for 8th and 9th position as the rest of the field comes through. But congratulations to Cameron Swain, another win in this category over Henry Snell and Marcus Amott. 3 podiums for Marcus this weekend. He'd be pretty happy with that one.
Oh, you'd have to be happy with that, wouldn't you? That was an incredible ride.
So the big crowd really appreciate the performance put on by Cameron Swain, Henry Snell and the entire Supersport 300 field. That eventual winning margin, 0.030 of a second for Cameron Swain over Henry Snell. Marcus Amott under 1 second behind in third position, just ahead of Brodie Gorth in fourth. Jai Russo in fifth, a great ride from him. Josh Newman and Casey Middleton had a great battle, with Newman eventually taking sixth and Middleton taking seventh. Sam Pizzetta in eighth, Harry Watts in ninth, and Calvin Moylan rounds out the top 10.
11th is Leakin Knight. Tara Morrison got 12th. Will Nassif in 13th. Geordie Simpson on the number 33 and 14th. Ryder Gilbert there in 15th in the last point. Daly Mills 16th. 17th William Hunt. Brock Quinlan in 18th.
There's Teo Aksu, former competitor in this class, racing overseas in Japan this year. Congratulating Cameron Swain. And championship points look like this after that final race. A 2-point lead for Brandon Demery, 221 to Cameron Swain, who has closed it right down now on 219. Marcus Amott has closed up as well on 210 in third. 11 points covering the top 3. Henry Snell, Jai Russo on 191 and 189 are not out of the equation either, nor is Brodie Gorth in 6th on 179. Casey Middleton, Josh Newman, Sam Pizzetta and Lincoln Knight round out the top 10, down to Chris at the AMX Superstores podium.
And Marcus Amott, that fantastic race. Do you enjoy those ones that are really close and it's a battle right to the end?
Oh yeah, 100%. No, but it was a good race. So I'm on the spare bike now, so the wet bike. It was difficult trying to adapt because they're different setups, but Will, my mechanic, Will Davidson, did the best he could to change the setups so that they were just exactly the same as the A-bike. So yeah, I'm really appreciated for him. He does everything for me and I'm really thankful. So, and I'm thank you for all the team, the Moto City team. And I just want to give a big shout out to Jekyll Hyde. Terry, he protects me when I'm out on track, and that turn 3 little slide was awesome. So I'm well protected, and yeah, I just want to say a big thank you to him.
Well, good luck for the rest of the season, mate. It was great racing today. Second place, Henry Snell. They say the cream keeps rising to the top, doesn't it? And it has done this weekend. That was a really close race. You had some speed down the back section of the track, but maybe Cam was a little bit stronger on the last turn. Is that right?
Yeah, just made a bit of an error coming through turn 9 there, but yeah, great race from Cam. It was a really good race. Glad to be on the podium again, get some more points. But yeah, a good weekend.
The championship's closed up a lot. You must be excited for the last few rounds.
Yeah, I'm keen as for the last 3 rounds. It should be good. Phillip Island, I'm pretty used to that track and say with the bend. I'd just like to say massive thanks to all my sponsors, HLM, Sahas, Bowling Cafe, Rakondi Race and Road. Just couldn't be here without them.
Well, congratulations, mate, and good luck. So we enjoyed that one. And the man of the moment, I think he's just about almost a perfect weekend, but that one was icing on the cake, as you could say. You've closed in the championship and another race win, Cam.
Yeah, that was the perfect weekend for me for SuperSport 300. We got pole position and all 3 race wins. I can't ask for more for that championship. And that's the one I was behind. I was behind like 44 points or something coming into this round on Brando. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'd like to thank Teo Aksu, my good mate here. He's been racing in Japan this year, but he's been helping me out in the pits today, doing my pit board for me. Good mate, I love him to death. But I'd like to thank my family, all my friends and supporters, IBM Racing, Draper Motorsport, Rob from IDM Global, Dave Fuller from Advanced Rider Training, Kabuchi, Yamaha, Pirelli. Yeah, thank you.
Too many sponsors. Congratulations, Cam, from one Queenslander to another. Good luck, mate.
Well, thanks very much, Chris. Great to hear from our top 3. That's only the start of the action here at Morgan Park Raceway. Plenty more action coming up. Well, magnificent Morgan Park has turned it on this weekend, but there is still one more race to go on today's program, and that is the final race for the Yamaha Finance R3 Cup. Well, Cameron Swain will start from pole position with Brodie Gorth and Marcus Hamod joining him on the front row of the grid. Brandon Demery, who we saw crash earlier on today, will be back for race number 2, starting from row 2 with Henry Snell and Jay Russo.
Harrison Watts, Geordie Simpson, who we've just talked about, and Sam Pizzetta on row 3. Row 4 is Lincoln Knight, Will Nassif, Ryder Gilbert, and the final rider, number 46, William Hunt.
Yeah, another graduate from the Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup, William Hunt. So great to see him out here having an outing in the SuperSport 300 and also Yamaha Finance R3 Cup categories this weekend.
A few different strike rates from different people out there as well. Brandon Demery crashed last time out, has been competitive all weekend. I think he had a win already this weekend too. Brodie Gorth has crashed out 2 times but won once. Marcus Hamod's had a few podiums but had a crash as well. So these guys are on the limits.
Yep, Henry Snell's also been on the podium across both classes all weekend as well, but hasn't been able to crack it for the race win yet. But as he keeps saying, he's just clawing back points from a difficult start to the season as well. So Henry's doing a great job here. And Jay Russo, I think, is in that last race, rode as good as I've seen him in any race so far this year on board the SuperSport 300 Russo Performance machine. Right, ready to go racing for the final time this weekend. The red flag leaves the front of the grid. Yamaha Finance R3 Cup final race. R3 Cup is go. Not a good start for Marcus Hamod. He's been swallowed up by pretty much the entire field. You can see him shaking his head, Steve, as they make their way down towards turn 1 for the first time. He's dropped back to probably 10th or 11th position as they make their way through AWMF corner for the first time. It's one of the Megacycle men out front. Not sure if it's Brodie Gorth or if it's Henry Snell as they stream under the bridge for the first time. It was Cameron Swain that was up there in second place. It's Brodie Gorth on board bike number 25 that leads them.
And Swain looks up the inside, big swoop, and makes it through nice and early.
Great start from Harry Watts. He's up to 4th position on board bike number 14 as well. So he's moved forward 3 positions off the grid.
Yeah, Marcus Hamod, terrible start down there in that 9th position. Brandon Demery dropped the spot off the start and is in 5th place out there on track at the moment. So, you know, it's probably going to take him 1 or 2 laps to get the confidence back in that front end. But, you know, he's a hard charger. He will not give up. Definitely one of the championship contenders out there at the moment with work to do. But these 3 guys have been going hard at it all weekend, haven't they? This is race number 6 together for these guys.
Well, and the thing is, Cameron Swain has got to be sick to death of seeing the Megacycle guys, whether it's Brodie Gorth or whether it's Henry Snell, sliding down the inside of him through that very fast corner at the bottom of the hill, because they've both been doing it to him multiple times. If you have a look at the championship, Cameron Swain leads the championship by 12 points over Brandon Demery, who's had a difficult weekend. So Cameron Swain just sort of eking out a small championship lead here this weekend with some strong performances.
Well, Demery's just moved himself to the front of that second group now, so he's got a little gap to close up, but it's definitely doable in this class. So Demery knows where he sits in the championship. He can't afford just to ride around in that position. He needs to beat Cameron Swain if he wants to be the champion again. Well,
and also too, he's got a couple of young guys behind him. Harry Watts would do well to just try and follow and learn a little bit from the most experienced rider in this field as well. But then right behind Harry, you've got 2 men desperate to try and move forward. One of them, Marcus Hamod, who's had a lot of pace this weekend, and Jay Russo, who's also been showing a lot of pace as well. And you can see them now crawling all over the back of Harry Watts' machine as they make their way down the bottom of the hill now. Yes. Marcus has actually got ahead of Jay as they make their way down through Motorcycling Australia corner, but it is still Cameron Swain that leads, with the Megacycle crew of Brodie Gorth and Henry Snell sitting in second and third.
It looks like Ahmad now has made his way up the past and is behind Brandon Demery as well. So he is riding like a man on a mission at the moment. Swain not able to break away from the two Megacycle machines behind him. And there's Demery.
It's going to be very interesting to see if Marcus Ahmad can get past, and then if he has the pace to try and close down the lead.
There you go.
Group. There he goes.
The first answer. Yes, he can get past.
He just blew past Brandon Demery. Didn't even look like he needed to use the slipstream. But now he's got a pretty sizable gap. It's about a 2-second gap that he needs to claw back. And the important thing, Steve, he's only got 6 laps to do it.
Yeah.
So when you think about it, 6 laps, 2 seconds, that's a fair chunk he needs to take out every single lap just to get up on level terms with these guys, let alone get past.
Well, half a second a lap's 4 laps, isn't it? So, you know, it's going to be tricky for him because these guys out in front at the moment, they're not on lap record pace, but they're going around pretty quickly. They're 23.7, so they're about a second off the lap record. So if they were, if he could, you know, do low 23s, it's feasible. So Ahmad to get up to that group needs to be low 23. I mean, his the last lap he did was a 24.3, so he actually lost 8 tenths.
And that was also in traffic. But what he actually needs is he needs these three to start carving each other up, slow them down while he's got clear track in front.
Yeah, well,
I'm pretty sure Henry Snell and Brodie Gorth will be more than happy to accommodate that as well.
These guys will carve each other up for sure. It's just what they do in this class. And that gap, yeah, back to Ahmad at the moment. We will find out. It was 1.8. It's now 1.6, so he's only closed it down 2 tenths.
Look at Cameron Swain. I think he's decided that now's the time. He doesn't want to play any more games with the Megacycle crew. And also Marcus, because he knows that he's on a charge, and he started to, I think he's really pulled the pin now, Steve. He's just pulled the pin, let the handle fly off, and the grenade has been well and truly launched. Let's have a look at his lap time as he comes across the start-finish line now to complete that lap. A 23.403, that's 2 tenths of a second faster than Snell, 3 tenths faster than Brodie, and 1 tenth slower than Marcus, who was still closing up that gap on the last lap.
Funny how in the first sector, though, the Megacycle boys through that brakes, that first right-hander, and then through turn 3, down into Motul, right on the back wheel again.
You can see a good battle going on here between Harry Watts and Sam Pizzetta, with Lincoln Knight on board the 222 machine, also involved in that battle as well. Sam Pizzetta doing a pretty good job to come back from a significant injury, I think, at the end of last year, wasn't it? And he's just building up pace on that Unitec machine.
Yeah, I don't think he's honestly back to where he was, because he was very competitive, wasn't he? But,
he was, but I think it was a significant wrist injury from memory, and you know how hard it is to get over a wrist injury and get back to full strength.
Yeah, it takes a long time. So,
well, we've seen Arthur this weekend probably struggle a little bit more too with the physical nature of this circuit with his wrist injury.
Yep, true.
Only his second round back after suffering that injury.
Yeah, it wouldn't be an easy round to ride with a wrist injury either. It's a very physical little track, even on these 300s. This track is it's quite demanding with its bumps, its twists, its turns. There's not a lot of places to rest, even on the straight. You literally, 4 or 5 seconds, if that, before you have to start thinking about braking into turn 1.
And there's also a lot of bumps you've got to deal with on the way into turn 1 as well. As Joe Russo goes around the outside of Brandon Demery to move up into 5th position. Pizzetta getting the better of Harry Watts as well, so great ride for the Unitec man.
Watts stood it up there too. And there's Marcus Ahmad now starting to try and look for a way round the leading trio.
Well, we've got riders from the Wollongong area now in 4th, 5th and 6th position, with Marcus J and Brandon Demery as well. Oh, Swain up the inside of Brodie Gorth. So it's Henry back into the lead. As usual in this class, the positions change pretty much every single corner, and what we thought was Cameron Swain trying to make an escape has been negated now by our current race leader, Henry Snell, who's shown to be very, very brave through this area of the circuit. But so is Cameron Swain. He's just gone through at Motorcycling Australia corner, and here comes Marcus. Tries to go around the outside of everybody.
That was a long way round. It was probably never going to work.
And maintains 4th position. the top 4 all set their fastest laps on the last lap of the race, and the fastest lap of the race so far was done by Henry Snell, a 1:22.823.
That's getting down to lap record time, so these guys are really putting in.
And no better time to pull all of those out than in the final 2 laps of the race as they get the last lap board. We are on the final lap of the weekend. Henry Snell goes into the lead. Swain back to second. Gorth in third and Marcus Amod in fourth.
Just to clarify that, Brandon Demery with the lap record this year, 22.6, 22.8. These boys are on it.
Yeah, I think that lap record was done in the race earlier on today.
So Hamad right on the back of this group, but he hasn't really been able to try and find a way round, has he?
Well, he's just got ahead of Brodie Gorth, and then they've come together on the run into, that was through Pirelli, and then down into Honda Corner. I think Mark is going to have some black tyre on his Jekyll and Hyde leathers as comes round through those final corners now. Down the hill we go, Steve, for the final time. It is Swain and Snell at the lead of this race. They're almost rubbing elbows as they come through MA Corner.
Oh.
And it's Swain back into the lead. What has Henry Snell got on the run to the flag? We saw him do a good manoeuvre earlier on in one of the races to just pip Cameron Swain. Can he do it again?
Swain's so good through this part of the circuit, though. Up the hill he goes. It's up to Snell. What can he do?
Can he get drive out of here? Can he utilise the slipstream? I think Swain may have him covered. Swain goes to the inside.
Oh,
Henry Snell pulls to the outside, and he might have the tag. He's done it again. Henry Snell has done it again on board bike number 12. He takes the race win by 0.012 of a second, an even smaller margin than before.
Wow, that was close.
So Henry Snell takes the win over Cameron Swain. Marcus Amod takes third. Brodie Gorth takes fourth place. And once again, a great battle between those 4 riders. 0.2 of a second, Steve, covered the top 4 as they came across the line.
Wow, it doesn't get much closer than that, does it, Phil?
No, it does not get closer, and 0.012 of a second, the final winning margin. That's not even the width of a R3 front tyre, I don't think, as they go across the line. Congratulations to Henry Snell. Another victory for him this weekend. Great performance from both of the Megacycle riders so far this weekend, both Henry Snell and Brodie Gorth. They've both been on the podium multiple times. You can see there Henry pretty happy with his efforts this weekend. But so should Cameron Swain be, because he's ridden incredibly well as well. But Henry Snell finally gets the win by 0.012 of a second over Cameron Swain. Marcus Amod in third place, Brodie Gorth in fourth, Rosso takes fifth, Brendan Demery in sixth, Pizzetta in seventh, Lincoln Knight in eighth, Harry Watts takes ninth, and Geordie Simpson rounds out the top 10 with Will Nassif, Ryder Gilbert and William Hunt rounding out the field. There he goes, number 1. That's right, Henry, you've done a great job so far this weekend. Championship points, Steve. 182 to Cameron Swain, 172 to Brandon Demery. That's a 10-point difference with 6 races to go in the championship. Brodie Gorth in third place. Henry Snell has clawed back all of those points that he was hoping to do this weekend. He now sits in fourth place, only 4 points behind his teammate Brodie Gorth in fourth. Marcus Amod in fifth, Jay Russo in sixth, Sam Pizzetta in seventh, Harry Watts in eighth, Geordie Simpson in ninth, and Lincoln Knight rounds out the championship top 10.
Yeah, incredible stuff there. What a race that was.
Well, Marcus is still out on the circuit celebrating.
It looks like he's doing another cool-down lap. I mean, and why wouldn't you? He's done a lot of laps around here. He's had a lot of success this year, hasn't he? Look at that.
Down to the AMX Superstores podium with Chris Vermeulen and our top 3.
Only top 2, actually. Sorry, Phil. Marcus isn't even in here yet. He's lapping all up the celebrations. But Cameron Swain, you've been dominant all weekend. You've led all the races at one part or another. It looked like you tried to make a break in that one. Were you happy with that race?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, I've been constantly at the front the whole weekend. I haven't finished outside the top 2, so it's by far my best weekend yet. Here at my home track, it's been awesome. Good job to Henry. He deserved that one. He played a good race, did awesome. I thought I could lead onto the main straight. I did that in the SuperSport 300 and won. So I thought, might as well try to do it again. But just lost out by a couple hundredths to swim, but good job to him. I'd like to thank Teo Aksu and Jonathan Lucas. They've been helping me out this weekend in the pits. Both really good guys, good mates of mine. But I'd like to thank Mum, Dad, my sister for putting up with all the racing. All my sponsors and supporters. Sorry if I can't name all of you, but Impeller Museum Event Services, IDM Global, Pirelli, Kabuchi Yamaha, Dux Moto, UBX Astley, RBM Racing, Brett from Moto Garage, Byron Draper from Draper Motorsport. Everyone, thank you.
Well done, mate. Good luck for the rest of the season. Great to see you up here. And the man that got him, well, pipped him, didn't he, to the finish line. He learnt last time, didn't quite make it. I mean, what a great drive out of that last corner to make that win.
Yeah, it was an unreal race. Great job to Cam and all the boys. Just got that last bit settled. It's great to get a win on my belt. I was on the podium all weekend, but just missing out, so over the moon to get a win.
Well, great to see, and wish you all the best for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Just like to say massive thanks to my sponsors again, HLM, Sahas, Tassel, Racing Road, AGV, TCX, just everyone that supports me. Couldn't do it without them.
Well, good luck, and I love watching these young guys. I mean, that's where I was a long time ago, but fantastic with the improvements, and yeah, really enjoyed the weekend, guys, so back to you.
Yeah, thanks very much, Chris. It's been great to have you here this weekend. Of course, there's 2 rounds of the 2023 calendar to go. We move now to Phillip Island Grand Prix Circuit on the 27th to the 29th of October, and then to the Bend Motorsport Park on the 1st to the 3rd of December for the final round of the championship. 4 more races to decide who will be the 2023 ASBK champions. Plenty more action coming up in the in the off-road championship as well. Rounds 7 and 8 at Kyneton in South Australia on the 26th and 27th of August. Then it's Kyogle for rounds 9 and 10 in New South Wales on the 16th and 17th of September. And Dungog in New South Wales, the final 2 rounds, round 11 and 12 on the 14th to the 15th of October. ProMX is shaping up for a great 2 final rounds as well, the 13th of August. Not too long to wait at Queensland Moto Park, where you could very well see a guest appearance from Troy Herfoss, the round winner here this weekend. And the final round only a week later on the 19th to the 20th of August at Coolum, also in Queensland. Well, it's been a great weekend here of racing from Morgan Park, the 5th round of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul. Troy Herfoss goes away happy. Brendan Demery not too happy at all, as you can see there, after crashing out of one of the SuperSport 300 races. But we have a little break now until Phillip Island, where we will be back to resume the championship challenge with 4 races to go. This broadcast is in memory of Damon Rees, a well-known figure in the ASBK paddock. We send our condolences to Damon's friends and family.